Christy, thank you. In about half an hour, members of Greenville County Council will be holding a meeting to talk about the allegations of sexual assault against the sheriff.
Council members say this is the first time since the lawsuit was filed that all 12 members have been able to discuss together their thoughts and a possible stance to take. Our Erin Rogers is live at County Square tonight. She has an update on what this meeting could be all about. Erin.
Well, Tom, that meeting starts in about 30 minutes. It starts at 6, but we are expecting county council members to go into a pretty lengthy executive session. But earlier today, the sheriff's office attorney did talk to reporters about where they are with the case. So the sheriff's office general counsel, Lance Sheik, did not talk specifics about the case, but he did talk about where they are as it relates to the investigation. Now, he did talk about some of the allegations regarding Sheriff Will Lewis and Savannah Neighbors, but he says that he has not been served with the lawsuit that was filed last Monday. However, he did lay out steps that have been taken so far on the sheriff's office end as it relates to the civil case. He says the first thing they did was preserve any documents related to Neighbors that the office had. He said then the office self-reported the matter to SLED after Neighbors posted a blog post. He says right now he encourages all people to let the legal system play out.
We want fairness to all the parties. If I were to stand here and lay out allegations and baseless claims against somebody and they weren't here to challenge it, that would be fundamentally unfair. And so I will never do that.
I did reach out to Neighbors' attorney. They told me that they had no comment, partly because they didn't understand the reason for the sheriff's office comment today. But they do say that they still stand by all of the allegations laid out in the lawsuit. Live in Greenville, I'm Erin Rogers, 7 News.
Now, Erin, earlier a couple of the council members had called for there to be a forensic audit of the sheriff's funding. Of course, council approves the budget for the sheriff, approves the taxpayer money. Could there be discussion about that tonight?
Now, the council members will be meeting with their attorneys, so we're expecting kind of all of this to be laid out on the table, Tom.
All right, of course, we'll be following that story and the latest coming up in our late news. Erin Rogers, thanks very much. Well, the lieutenant governor isn't alone in calling for Sheriff Will Lewis to resign. A group of women leaders in the community joined together to write and deliver a letter to the sheriff and county council asking for the sheriff to step down. The women say they're not making a judgment on whether he is guilty or innocent, but say they're basing their position on what the sheriff has already admitted to and the recordings in the lawsuit. They're also concerned he misused taxpayer money carrying on his extramarital affair.
We believe that there are some items that have been admitted by Sheriff Lewis that are gross negligence and abuse of power that he's already come forward and admitted to. So we don't believe that this is the kind of man who needs to be leading our men and women in blue who deserve so much more.
The women also created a Facebook group to serve as a petition to get the sheriff to resign. Now, this isn't the first time scandal has struck a sheriff's office in the upstate.
That's right. 7 News reporter Brianna Smith is taking a look back now at how issues like that have plagued another sheriff's office.
A 40-page lawsuit outlined accusations of sexual harassment and assault against Greenville County's top cop.
If you walk out the door today and you're gone, that changes everything for me.
I have to. I don't have a choice, Will.
Because of the filed litigation, Sheriff Lewis admitted an affair with his subordinate, denying any criminal wrongdoing, and in the same breath announcing that he would remain in office.
I'm going to continue to perform my duties as I've been elected to do.
It's a scenario we've seen play out before. In 2011, a former Lawrence County Sheriff employee filed a lawsuit saying that Sheriff Ricky Chastain got her pregnant and was told she would have to resign if she didn't have an abortion. Then Sheriff Ricky Chastain admitted to the affair through litigation but denied the abortion. Not only did he remain in office, he won a re-election. Even 6 years ago, these so-called moral failures caused frustrations for local government.
Well, all of it's really a slap on the wrist. The censure vote is a slap on the wrist. A call for resignation appears to be a stronger statement. However, the party cannot force him to resign. The party cannot keep him from running as a Republican in the upcoming election.
The Attorney General's office confirmed the only person that can remove a sheriff from office is a governor, and only if that sheriff is charged with a crime of moral turpitude.
I'm generally aware of the issue. Have made no decision, and don't know if there's one to be made at this point.
Now, we have reached out to the Greenville County Republican Party, and they say that they're planning to make a statement following the County Council meeting tonight. We will keep you posted on new developments.